Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine, shake a leg. Today's the day. Ring out the bells, put down your controllers. Skylar, wake up. We're about to write our own stories. Oh, come on. Let's have a bit of enthusiasm. I know it's Monday, I know it's early. Rosie, stop yawning. But this is the best bit, the part where you get to become authors. Like this. Now, before we go any further, I want to make sure you know exactly what it is I'm expecting you to achieve this week. Turn to your parents, pets, and partners, look them in the eye, and repeat after me. Today, Matthew, I'm going to be an author. I'm going to write a story about Lennox coming to visit me in Ivybridge. Excellent. But here's the catch. You're going to imagine that you're Lennox coming to visit your family in Ivybridge. Got it? Good. Let's move on. Now, as you saw earlier, I got very into the idea of becoming an author to write my version of the story. I'd absolutely encourage you to do the same. The more ridiculous, the better. I'd also love to see some photo evidence of this parents. Now, Erin, that's a bit too far. You still need to be able to write. Okay, anyway, where was I? Right, my version. Thanks, Jez. Now, before I read my opening paragraph to you, I want to add a bit of a disclaimer. The beginning of the story is a little bit downbeat. The reason for this is that Lennox has had a long journey and he's feeling really nervous. I put the pictures there to show you what I wanted the reader to picture when they read this paragraph. Anyway, here we go. Looking out of the window, the sky looked grey and slate-like, as if a storm were approaching. Heavy drops of rain lashed against the glass and created tiny rivers which moved in the wind. Suddenly, a voice came over the speakers. The next stop on this service will be Ivybridge. Ivybridge, the next stop. Please remember to pick up all your belongings and have a good day. The announcer's voice sounded friendly and cheerful, a reminder of home. As I gathered up my tattered bag and the remains of my lunch of ham sandwiches, I wondered about who would meet me at the station. Would they be like in the photographs? Would I even recognise them? My heart started thumping in my chest, and I suddenly felt cold. As the train pulled up alongside the platform, I took a deep breath to steady my nerves. Okay, hopefully you picked up on some of the techniques I used to show and not tell, as you're now experts from what I've seen of your work. I'm going to read you my next paragraph too, and then we'll discuss these two paragraphs. I'll then give you the chance to go off and write your own. Stepping from the train, I pulled up the hood on the old, weathered, waterproof jacket my cousin had lent me years ago. It was a little too short on the arms, but it was good enough to keep most of the rain off. I wrapped my arms around me to stop myself from shivering in the icy breeze. My breath crystallized in front of my face. I knew the weather would be different, but I didn't know it would be so cold. I looked around at my surroundings. The train station sat nestled amongst rolling green hills, topped by stacks of rock. There are a few sheep in the field closest to the tracks, and their bleating reminded me of the goats at home. I looked around the platform, first left, then right, and found that it was empty. Why weren't they here? Would I be stuck here forever, waiting for someone I barely knew? Had I got the dates wrong? Hundreds of questions raced through my mind as I stood shivering on the platform. I looked up sharply at the sound of my name. Lennox, over here! Waving wildly and grinning from ear to ear was a boy, about my age, but with pale skin and freckles, his curly ginger hair poking out in strands from beneath his baseball cap. He stood between two others. The woman wore a beaming smile, filling her face with deep wrinkles, her wispy grey hair standing out at strange angles from her head. Beside her, the man looked colossal, towering above the both of them, his face slightly hidden beneath his wide-brimmed hat. As I walked over to them, I suddenly realised that this was it. I was about to meet my pen pal after all this time. Okay, now that you've heard it, what do you think? Did I manage to show and not tell? Can you find an example of that with your parents, pets, and partners? Now, I'd like you, for the next 5 minutes, to have a think about the success criteria of these paragraphs. What will you need to include to make sure your opening paragraphs are as effective as they can possibly be? Pause the video, jot down your ideas, and then come back to me. Okay, quick fire. Go, Esme. Prepositional phrases, yes. Freddie. Range of adjectives, yes. Use the senses, perfect. Evie. First person, yes. Freddie. Show not tell, amazing, perfect, thank you. To help you write this segment of your story, remember you also have your planning sheets from last week. We're sticking to the top 2 boxes here, really. There should be plenty of character and setting description, and some idea of the changes or differences Lennox notices already. Another thing to be really clear about is that you are Lennox, so write from the first person point of view. I, not he. Right, I think you should probably spend at least 40 minutes on these first 2 paragraphs. Good luck, off you go.